striking this driver in the face during an arrest will not face criminal charges.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle!
If it wasn't for race hustling thugs that wanted to make money and sue the police department to put money in his pocket, although he was wrong on the traffic stop. Hey, y'all, hold on real quick. I got to tell you this. I bet you $1 million y'all didn't know this. Only 3 mobile providers own all of the cell phone towers in America. When you work with Patriot Mobile, you can pick one of the providers that work best for you. And that's the uniqueness of Patriot Mobile. Switch to the only Christian conservative provider today. All you got to do is go to patriotmobile.com/Tatum or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service with promo code Tatum. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're sick of being soft, if you're sick of your T levels being low, if you're tired of being a Democrat, once you get you some T-Force and become a man today, all right? We had the original T-Force, which is the regular T-Force, and then we made it advanced. I suggest you take this with food and you take it before a workout to maximize. Get you some T-Force today, 25% off, because I hate these white bottles and I want to get them out of here, to be honest. We give you the discount code for 25% off. Get you some T-Force today. God bless you, God bless America, and let's get strong, baby. I want to talk about the case of McNeil, and I don't want to say I told you so, because there is no real I told you so in this matter. He was legally pulled over. He was legally struck in a car. He was legally arrested, and he pled guilty. This wouldn't be a topic if it wasn't for race hustling thugs that wanted to make money and sue the police department to put money in his pocket, although he was wrong on the traffic stop. According to the news that broke yesterday, the investigation into whether or not McNeil was pulled over properly, when people were arguing with Brandon Tatum saying, Brandon, it wasn't raining at the time of the stop. Well, he also didn't have a seatbelt on. He also was driving on a suspended driver's license. I mean, the cop was willing to just give him a warning. We don't know what would have happened, but he acted a plumb fool. And then now he's in this position that he's in, and he pled guilty to it. He didn't try to fight it. Now, you can plead guilty to something and be innocent of something if you feel like you don't have a fighting chance. I don't recommend that to be the case. But if you feel like you don't have a fighting chance, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're guilty. But in his case, everything he did represented guilt, and then he went and pled guilty. So to me, 2 and 2 is 4. And I like the fact that the officers were deemed to have done nothing wrong because they didn't do anything wrong. You can do, and I said this because I'm a former cop and I know what we can get away with and what we can do and what's legal and not legal. If you want to do a diversionary strike on somebody, which is a palm strike, which is what I wrote in my article that I wrote about this, you as a police officer can do that if you believe it can distract the person enough where you can extract them from a car or distract them enough where they cannot pull a gun on you. We call it throwing off a person's OODA loop. On the SWAT team, you rush into a building, you throw a flashbang, they get disoriented, and you throw off their OODA loop because they have a plan of action until you divert their plan of action. That means that when he's in the car thinking about grabbing a gun, thinking about fighting, and you hit him you stun him a little bit, now he got to think of something else because it ain't got real fast. And so there was a acquittal, for lack of better terms, of the police officers, like I said there would be. Now, I think we have a clip. Is this a news clip of the new findings? Okay, roll the clip.
This morning, a Jacksonville, Florida sheriff's deputy seen striking this driver in the face during an arrest will not face criminal charges.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle!
William McNeil Jr. was pulled over in February for not having his lights on in bad weather and not wearing a seatbelt.
What is your reason, sir? What is your reason?
Deputies are seen getting aggressive with him after he questioned why he was being pulled over, denying there was bad weather and refusing to exit his vehicle. They claimed he was reaching for a knife on the floor, which was not seen in the video.
Hold on. They did not claim that. They had made mention that he was in close proximity to the knife, but they didn't claim that he was reaching for the knife. They don't say it on the body-worn camera, and I don't believe that they said it in the case report. The chief didn't allude to that. They just alluded to that there was a knife in close proximity. Roll the clip.
Attorney's office now concluding it was a lawful traffic stop, saying Officer Bauer's use of a one-time open-handed strike to McNeil's face had a legitimate tactical purpose to get McNeil out of the SUV and to show his hands, which McNeil did after the strike, adding that Officer Bauer's second strike occurred during McNeil's arrest and was in response to McNeil's physical resistance to the arrest.
I was surprised. I was scared. I grew up being told that officers protect us, but that wasn't the case.
McNeil's lawyers now want the Justice Department to investigate, claiming the state attorney never interviewed him and overlooked the violence after he was taken into custody. They say he suffered a concussion, a chipped tooth, and needed 9 stitches. The deputy's actions are still part of an administrative review to determine if they violated policy. As for McNeil, he pleaded guilty to resisting arrest and having a suspended license.
Oh, but they don't tell you he had drugs on him too. They don't want to say that. They don't want to say he had drugs on him. Yeah, that's the disingenuous nature of the news. Like that's why I exist. Because I can get on here and I'm gonna look up the stuff and I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. The news didn't mention nothing about him having drugs, and it bothers me. And I told you guys, and that's why y'all follow me and y'all love me, is because I told you. And other people that criticize me, they don't know what they're talking about. When you never put on a badge honorably, because there's people that put on a badge and they disagree with me because I don't know what police department they work for, but I know what I'm talking about. I used to do this for a living, man, and I didn't used to do this for a living in Scottsdale, and I'm nothing against my Scottsdale PD. It's just not heavy like Tucson. My first day on the job in FTO, my first FTO day on the job was a homicide. A guy got shot right in the face, and I was watching him die in the middle of the doorway. My first day on the job. Before that call was potentially could have been a high-speed pursuit, but the guy ended up stopping, but he tried to leave at first. So, you know, that like first day on the job, bro. One of my friends on the SWAT team, he had to take a man's life the first day on the job. His first day on FTO. A guy took his FTO hostage, he reached across the car and shot the guy in the head, boom. He was meant for SWAT ever since then. Talking about a guy with poise like that as a rookie. When you get out of training and you get into FTO, you don't know what's going on no more. Anybody can say what they want in the training facility until you get on the street and you got to wear a badge and you really responsible for people's lives. I remember my first arrest. 2 natives, drunk as a skunk, fighting each other up under some bushes. You know how crazy that was? They were so drunk they couldn't stand up and fight. So they were laying on their side fighting each other like this. And they were half up under some bushes. I was like, what is happening here? That was my first arrest. I know what I'm talking about, bro. I done did every call that known to man, except I've never participated in a shooting. Thank God I don't have to have that on my conscience. But I put my guns on multiple people. I could have shot 2 people and been justified. Thank God that God helped me to process the situation a lot cleaner, and that the person actually wasn't the threat that we thought that they were, or that they could have been. The guy running out of the house with the shard of glass in his hand with his throat cut like this, with his fat hanging out his neck. He actually hit me. He actually punched me in the face a couple times with an open hand. It was weird. He was open-handed, which I was like, oh, I'm finna get busy with you, boy. But he didn't have a shard of glass in his hand. He had cut his throat and then threw the glass down and then fought me at the front door. Well, he lost that one, but he tried to fight me at the front door. And then the other lady who put a knife on me at an apartment complex. I mean, I just saw it in her eyes, man. When she came out the house, I saw it in her eyes that she was like, she didn't want me to shoot her, and I didn't want to shoot her. I could have shot her, but thank God I didn't. So she's still alive. Took her to the crisis response center. She got the help she needed. She's still alive. I'm still alive. It's all good. But stop believing people online who are emotional. You need to come to B. Tatum. Let me give you a perspective. Even if you don't agree with me, listen to what I have to say. Because I was 100% correct on a lot of things. You can go back and look at my previous video that I made on this. I was 100% correct about the stop. I was 100% correct about the strike to the face. It wasn't a punch. People keep saying he got sucker punched. It was an open hand strike to the face. If you actually watch it, I knew that was correct. I wouldn't have done it because I don't feel like that my use of force in that situation would have been a lot more than his, because I probably would have knocked him unconscious if I'd have hit him in the face with a palm strike. And then the punch in the mouth. That's reasonable when you're fighting a guy and he's resisting and he's big enough, but he had 4 people trying to take him to the ground. And that's it, bro. He had every reason to pull you over. If you somehow can argue that the inclement weather wasn't a thing, you didn't have a seatbelt on. And you also was driving on a suspended driver's license with drugs in the car. What are we talking about? Okay. I just want to throw that out there. Is that the only clip we have? Is this him talking on a... Yeah, I want to play this real quick because he was scared for his life. I want y'all to see what kind of man we dealing with. This is the disingenuous nature of some black people that bothers the living daylights out of me is that why won't you just take your licks, no pun intended? You pled guilty already. Just let it go. Why would you get on national television and subjugate yourself to exposure, to criticism, when you're 100,000% wrong? And then you're lying on behalf of your community for no reason, bro. You're making black people look bad. Because I have yet to see a white person get on TV after doing all of that stupid stuff and trying to cry and act like they're innocent people. I rarely have seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it. Somebody had to do it, but I ain't seen it. Roll the clip.
William, let's start with you. Walk us through what happened and what led you to turn your camera on and start filming on your phone.
Well, the officer put his hand on his gun and shot for me, so I closed my door and started recording. I did what was best. DSLR.
They said your head.
If he put his hand on his gun and you shut the door, if he have the intent to harm you, he can shoot you through the door and the window. Your door shutting did nothing to protect you if you somehow thought this man, who's a police officer in uniform, who pulled you over for a legitimate reason, you knowing that you have drugs and driving on suspended driver's license, if he wanted to hurt you, he's gonna hurt you whether he had the door open or not. He can just knock the window out. Do you not catch that? Or he just shoot you through the door. Quit being silly. Roll the clip.
Lights were not on and should have been on in what they described as inclement weather. But there are those people who would say, hey, why not just cooperate when they're pulling you over? Why lock yourself inside the car and refuse to get out initially?
That's why I felt safe at. I wasn't going to get out the car because my hand during the daytime. And then you put your hand on your gun to reach out for me. I feared for my life. And I know how officers of JSO are towards me back then here in Jacksonville.
Hold on. Maybe you know how black men are against JSO officers in Jacksonville. Maybe it's you the problem. You're the problem, young man. You would have never had to get out the car. If when he pulled you over and you presented your identification, you wouldn't have had to get out the car. You wouldn't have been under arrest. You didn't want to present it because you was driving suspended. But if you'd have just said, yes, sir, I got a suspended driver's license. I got to take this here. That's it.
Okay, that right there was race baiting. Tell me how officers didn't know. You, sir, had a suspended driver's license, had drugs, had a weapon in your car. Did that cop really want to hurt you? Really want to do damage to you? He'd have to open your door. He could have shot through your fucking window or through your door and shot your damn ass. Okay? You trying to make like you the fucking victim here, when you clearly you just listen to what he said, you drive on the road in bad condition or whatever, no lights on, suspended license, drugs in the car, and a weapon. Those 5 fucking reasons why that cop done the shit what he had to do. But no, you want to get on here and like you're a damn victim when you clearly you ain't the fucking victim, you're the perpetrator for goddamn right. Alright? I mean, all the shit you did right here gave the cop the right what he had to do. Instead of just handing your damn driver's license over, handing your insurance over to him, like a normal fucking person would do, with a common sense, none of this shit would happen. But no, you had to shut the door. Then you want to turn the camera on. Don't you understand? The cop has his body camera on all the damn time. So stupid shit like this right here, what you did. Let's play the little video back real quick what he said right here. Here we go.
Those people who would say, hey, why not just cooperate when they're pulling you over? Why lock yourself inside the car and refuse to get out initially?
That's why I felt safe at. I wasn't going to get out the car because my hand during the daytime. And then
that right there. If the cops pull you over and tell you to get out of the car, regardless, listen to them, you stupid son of a bitch. Okay? You wouldn't be in this situation you just listen. But this is the narrative of entitlement, wokeness, and I'm gonna say this is how black entitlement starts out right here. They're above the law, above people and everything like that. But what I know, I'm a white guy. I don't know nothing about law, right? Wrong. I know a lot about the fucking law. I know a lot about stuff. He did this shit here. Keep listening. Watch. Listen.
you put your hand on your gun to reach out for me. I feared for my life. I know how officers in jail so hard towards back then here in Jacksonville.
Right there, he tried to use race car right there. How officers were black guys. No. Cops supposed to have the gun. He was showing violent attention. You would not listen. You would not cooperate with him. That would draw the line of him putting his hand on his gun in case you try to pull a weapon on him. He pull his gun out and self-defend himself. Because in South Carolina and in Florida has stand your ground laws. Okay? When you show disregard, aggressive behavior, and do not want to listen to what a cop says, therefore they have the right to use the force. Okay, stop playing that fucking victim card, okay? It's way overblown now. Alright, back to the video.
Maybe you know how black men are against JSO officers in Jacksonville. Maybe it's you the problem. You're the problem, young man. You would have never had to get out the car. If when he pulled you over and you presented your identification, you wouldn't have had to get out the car. You wouldn't have been under arrest. You didn't want to present it because you was driving suspended. But if you'd have just said, yes, sir, I got a suspended driver's license. I got to take this hit. That's it. And then if you disagree with the way he stopped you, then you'll win in court, right? If you're right, you'll win in court. You'll say, oh, it was daytime. The law doesn't represent what he said he pulled me over for. The judge would have a field day throwing that out if it was legitimate. He don't want to waste his time judging a situation that's completely pointless. So if you thought you were right, which you weren't, but if you thought you were right, that's the way you should have did it. Roll it.
But what went through your mind at that moment when the deputy broke your window and punches you in the face as you sit in the car?
He didn't punch him.
I was surprised. I was scared, frightened. I grew up being told that officers protect us, but...
So he was scared. That was not showing scared. That was just showing calmness. This is what I hate about fucking entitlement fuckers right here. Don't care if it's white or black. The entitlement is sickening. Okay? They asked you repeatedly to get out of the car and show identification, and you fucking refused. I mean, common sense would tell your dumb ass. The cops ask you to get out of the car and show identification. Cooperate with their asses. No matter the situation. Okay, no matter the cop is racist or not. Cooperate with him. Because 9 out of 10 times, the body camera on the cop will show evidence. Plus, there's cameras over there where you don't doubt as well. Using that aerial repair traffic camera too. You try to use this as an excuse to try to get money for racial bullshit baiting. Okay, motherfucker? You was guilty. You know it. You drive without a suspended license. Driving in bad weather without lights on. That's automatically a reason for a cop to pull you over. No matter what state you in. You were driving in the rain without your lights on. That's automatically going to get your ass, okay? Especially here in South Carolina, you do that shit. You don't have your lights on when driving in the rain. Automatic cop turn around, pull you over. Don't matter if you got a little rain. Keep your fucking lights on when it's raining. Okay? Now you're trying to like just bait shit, okay? Blah, 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 blah. You was not scared. You was not surprised. You was calm, motherfucker. I mean, someone pushed you, went, you didn't do nothing. You jumped in, put right back, like, okay, fuck it. I got this on camera, I'm gonna get my money. You did this shit to try to get money. Okay? It's simple as that. You was driving with suspended license, that's one charge it gives you. You had a damn drugs in here, that's another 2. 3, you didn't have the lights on. 4, you wouldn't couple with the cops. 5, you didn't show identification or drive insurance. 6, you shut the door when he asked you to repeatedly step out. 7, you went ahead and put the camera on and make it like you just had, you got the cop pissed off and hit the window. 8, he didn't fucking hit you in the face. He palm strike you. 9, you fucking did not want to cooperate when they put the handcuffs on you. When they're trying to put you down on the ground and put the handcuffs on you properly. So you, or then one boy get hurt, you fought again. 10, you tried to like you're the fucking victim when you clearly ain't the fucking victim.
That wasn't the case.
Look like he high right now. On the interview, he high. I bet you he high. How much y'all want to bet that he smoked weed and got high before he went on that interview? I know weed smokers when I see them. I used to smoke weed all the time when I was a little kid. I stopped smoking when I was 8. And I cannot confirm or deny I smoked one time between 8 and now. And it wasn't in college. And it wasn't when I was in college. So you can do the math. I tried it one time. Hey, come on, man. Can I be real with y'all? I did. I had to ask for forgiveness. I was with a friend. She kind of convinced me to do it. And I hadn't smoked since I was 8. And I said, man, let me see what it is. I'm grown now. It's legal. Let me hit. She put it in a pipe. Not like a crack pipe. So don't get crazy. She put it in a cigar pipe. And we smoked it, and it was like, it's not for me. And I never did it again. Now, I never told anybody that because if I ever wanted to apply for a position with the federal government again, I was like, I can't be telling nobody I tried that stupid thing one time. I'd have to disclose on my resume that I smoked weed, and I didn't want to do that. But weed ain't for me, man. I'm an advocate for medical marijuana. I think medical marijuana is a far better solution than putting you on pharmaceutical drugs that get you on something that you have to get on something else to get off something else that you were on after you got on something else. So I'm a medical marijuana guy. If I thought marijuana would help me, I would. I did eat a brownie before, but that's not THC. It was just a what do they call it? CBD. There you go. It was a CBD brownie. I mean, that wasn't a brownie. It was a gummy or something somebody gave me. So I ate that. So don't think I'm a degenerate, man. That's legal. It's legal in America. Not in America, but it's legal in Arizona for sure. All right, enough of my degeneracy. Because some of y'all done smoked crack before. Don't judge me. Y'all was smoking crack before the Lord saved your life. Don't even look at me, meth, crack. You right there. I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You hit the meth pipe a few times. You know you did. You know you did. Some of y'all did heroin before God saved you.